It's an incredible, inspiring, historic people power movement going on just 130 miles north from here with up at Burnaby Mountain. It's a real honor to have Sundance Chief Rueben George from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation. He's been one of the people who's been leading the fight against Kinder Morgan and that First Nations rights and treaties be respected and that they be consulted.
You know, when we're in the woods and when we're in the forest, it feeds our spirit. You know, when we have a connection like that, we want to do something. We want to do something for the land if something is going to affect it in a negative way. And these oil and these pipelines and these tankers, they're not good. And then what we did is we helped to mobilize nations from Montana to North Dakota to all the way down to Oklahoma, where the Keystone Pipeline is coming out. And then there's another pipeline called Enbridge. And you know, there's 170 First Nations that have signed the Save the Fraser Declaration that are opposing that pipeline. So in our actions with the allies that we work with, we closed off all directions of all the pipelines coming out of the Alberta tar sands. The Exxon Valdez, what you know happened in Alaska, still today, 25 years later, is still not trying to pay compensation for the lives that they ruined up there. People were cleaning the shores, but there's toxic coming out to them and they made them sick. So these people are suing Exxon Valdez, but they're dying. And the longer they stretch it out, the more people die, the less Exxon Valdez has to pay 25 years later. And that's the same at BP. They're still not trying to pay, but isn't this ludicrous and crazy because they're making $71 million a day and they can't compensate the lives that they ruined? Let alone the land, let alone the water. All those things that have not gone back to normal after 25 years. Richard Kinder and Peter Morgan, they're not taking care of the people that are hungry. They're not putting money into taxes that are going to help clean up your land and clean up your water. We do. Our salmon count in Tsleil-Waututh Nation with one of the local rivers there was down under 3,000. 10 years ago, 3,000 salmon. We're salmon people. 80% of our diet was salmon for my ancestors. 3,000. So what we did is we said we have to fix that. Like I said, not a rich nation, but we started to fix it. And this year our salmon count was 100,000. That's right. We haven't had elk in our territory for 125 years. So we did an elk reintroduction program. So we took some Roosevelt elk and we put 27 up there. It's up over 300 now. The ecology that happens is beautiful because the elk bring back the wolves, they bring back the bears, they bring back even different birds. The environment starts to change when you reintroduce something that belongs there. We're putting back what has been taken away and we're cleaning it with minimal resources. But look at what they're doing. Not only are they extracting, but they're killing things and killing people. And the government's saying that's okay. The government's saying that it's okay to take lives and to ruin lands. It's okay for them to fill their pockets and become more rich. $71 million a day is ludicrous. How much money do you need? Kinder Morgan, they have a sickness over here. They have a sickness and they're warped in their head that they can allow people to die and create and buy off the government and buy off the media. Tell their stories the way they want. Create policies and break them. They break their own policies that they create with the government. And they lie like that. They do that. They're so sick in their greed for money and for power that they can't make a choice for their future generations. And you know what? I look at the diversity of Canada and I look at the diversity of the United States and I see all of our country right here. Your beautiful faces. What I believe what we're going to do is because they can't make choices for their own future generations, for their own children and for their own grandchildren and for their own land, for their own water, because they're incapable of doing that because they're dysfunctional. We will do it for them. Yeah. Because we have to. We really, really, really have to. We have to have something for our future, for our kids. And now we're starting to take off here in Washington State, but it's big in BC. Just like it did with the Keystone. We need your support. We need your voice because it affects you. It affects all of us. It's not a First Nation or tribal person problem. It's not an environmental person problem. It's everybody's problem. It's everybody's problem. I tell you how fast it's happening and how aware Washington State and Seattle and all along the I-5 are getting aware along the Salish Sea. This is going to grow really quick. I can feel it from you and your spirit of who you are. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Hoichkas,
You are trespassing, and it's going to be up to them. I'm going to put it down and then walk out. Kinder Morgan rep. He's employed by Kinder Morgan.
So I'll be accepting the letter with their behalf.
All right. Thanks for your peacefulness. Appreciate that. All right.
And what was your name? Just so you know, are you comfortable saying what your first name is, or just negative? No worries. All right. All right, guys. Thank you, guys.
Hey!